The twin suns of Kepler 442b cast long shadows across Leo's farm as he wiped the dirt from his hands. Another day, another harvest of gene-modified wheat that could feed 1,000 mouths. He didn't ask for much in life, just his land, his crops, and maybe someone to share the sunset with. That's why Mia had signed him up for the galactic dating network without his permission. "You're 32, Leo," his sister had said over the holo call last week. "You can't spend your whole life talking to vegetables." "They're excellent listeners," he'd replied. Now, as the notification pinged on his wristcom, Leo sighed. His blind date was arriving in 10 minutes. Some administrator from the Imperial Corps, Mia had said. Probably another stuck-up bureaucrat who'd take one look at his mud-stained boots and flee back to her climate-controlled towers. The atmospheric disturbance came first, a ripple in the sky that made the wheat stalks bow. Then the ship descended sleek and midnight black, with the golden emblem of the Draconic Imperium blazing on its hull. Leo's jaw dropped. That wasn't an administrator's shuttle. That was a royal cruiser. The boarding ramp extended with a pneumatic hiss and she emerged. Empress Mia Valtheris, sovereign of the 1,000 suns, first of her flame, looked nothing like the propaganda hollows. Those showed her in full ceremonial armor, wings spread wide, eyes burning with ancient fire. The woman who descended the ramp was still clearly her. The golden scales that traced her cheekbones caught the sunlight, and her eyes held that same reptilian intensity. But she sat in an exo-mobility chair, its anti-grav generators humming softly. Leo had heard the rumors, of course. The assassination attempt 3 years ago, the spinal injury that even draconic regeneration couldn't fully heal. The Imperium had tried to keep it quiet, but word spread. What shocked him wasn't the chair. It was the vulnerability in her eyes as she maneuvered down the ramp, clearly expecting judgment. "You're late," Leo said, checking his comm with exaggerated concern. "By a whole 90 seconds. I was about to eat all the pie myself." Mia blinked. Then slowly a smile cracked her imperial composure. "The warp calculations were off. My navigator will be demoted to janitor." "Good help is hard to find," Leo agreed seriously. "My irrigation system keeps filing formal complaints about working conditions." "Does it unionize?" "Tried to. I negotiated a better oil schedule." They stared at each other for a moment, then both burst out laughing. Leo gestured toward the farmhouse, a modest structure of recycled hull plating and native stone. "I hope you like rustic. The fanciest thing in there is a coffee maker that only breaks down twice a week." "Sounds better than the palace," Mia said, her chair gliding smoothly over the uneven ground. "Everything there works perfectly. It's exhausting." As they walked and glided, Leo found himself relaxing. Mia wasn't like the core worlders who'd visited before, wrinkling their noses at the smell of honest work. She asked questions about crop rotation and soil composition with genuine interest. When they reached the irrigation grid, her eyes lit up. "This is human engineering," she said, examining the system. "Elegant, efficient, no wasted energy." "We learn to do more with less," Leo said. "When your species is still clawing its way off one planet, you can't afford waste." "Is that what they teach in human schools? That you're still the underdogs?" Mia's smile was gentle but knowing. "Leo, humanity went from atmospheric flight to faster-than-light travel in less than 2 centuries. The Draconics took 4,000 years. The Xyrillians took 7,000. You people terrify the galaxy." Leo scratched his head. "We're just trying to keep up." "Exactly. That's what terrifies us." She paused by the wheat field, reaching out to touch a golden stalk. "Every other species reaches a comfortable level and stops. Humans never stop. You're always hungry for the next challenge, the next frontier." "Is that why you agreed to this date?" Leo asked quietly. "To study the scary humans?" Mia turned her chair to face him fully. "I agreed because my matchmaker, my very insistent, very annoying sister, said you understood what it meant to work the land. To build something with your own hands, to not care about titles or thrones." She took a breath. "And because she promised you wouldn't care about the chair." "The chair is the least interesting thing about you," Leo said. "Though I'll admit the anti-grav tech is impressive. Could I get that for my harvester?" "Are you seriously asking the Empress of the Draconic Imperium for agricultural equipment upgrades on a first date?" "Technically, I'm asking the woman who seems to actually understand soil pH balance." Mia laughed, and this time it was unguarded. Real. "You humans. Absolutely shameless." They ate dinner on Leo's porch as the sun set, Simple food, fresh bread and vegetable stew, nothing fancy. Mia ate with an enthusiasm that suggested palace cuisine wasn't all it was cracked up to be. They talked about everything and nothing. The challenges of governance versus farming, the loneliness of responsibility, the weight of expectations. They want me to abdicate, Mia said finally, staring at the darkening sky. The council. They say an empress who can't walk without assistance is a symbol of weakness. Can you still breathe fire? Leo asked. Of course. That's genetic, not... Can you still make decisions that affect billions of lives? Yes, but... Can you still scare the absolute hell out of corrupt governors and war profiteers? Mia's smile was sharp. I'm actually better at that now. Then you're not weak. You're just sitting down while you work. Leo leaned back in his chair. I sit on a tractor all day. Does that make me weak? That's different. How? Mia opened her mouth, then closed it. I don't have an argument for that. Good, because I was running out of folksy farmer wisdom. Leo grinned. Look, I don't know much about running an empire, but I know that wheat doesn't care if I harvest it standing or sitting. It only cares that I harvest it right. Your empire doesn't need an empress who walks. It needs an empress who leads. The silence stretched between them, comfortable and warm. You're very wise for a mud farmer, Mia said finally. I prefer agricultural engineer, but I'll take it. As Mia's ship prepared to depart hours later, she paused at the ramp. Would you consider a second date? Leo pretended to think about it. Will there be political intrigue and assassination attempts? Probably. Will I have to wear fancy clothes? Absolutely not. I'm commissioning you overalls made of imperial silk. Deal. Mia's smile could have lit the entire star system. As her ship lifted off, Leo waved until it disappeared into the night sky. His comm pinged. A message from his sister. Well? Leo typed back. You're invited to the royal wedding. Bring your own crown. Somewhere in the vast darkness of space, an empress laughed and decided that maybe humanity's greatest strength wasn't their technology or their stubborn persistence. Maybe it was their ability to see people, not symbols, to offer acceptance without conditions, to make even an immortal dragon feel wonderfully, perfectly human. And maybe, just maybe, that's what made them truly terrifying and truly beautiful.